I'm Mel.
And I'm Janelle.
And this is The Murder Mamas.
The Murder Mamas. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine. We haven't talked all week. It's weird. I was thinking about that today. I was like, I wonder if she's dead. I wonder if she doesn't like me anymore. Maybe she doesn't want to do the podcast.
You know, it was really funny. I was thinking as I was changing my pants to come here, and I was like, what if I just didn't show up? I wonder what Mel would do. Like, how far would she go?
The cops would be at your
house. I imagine that would be the next step. Like, the cops would show up at my house and be like, actually, they probably wouldn't even show up.
Oh, no, I would demand a welfare check.
I was like, I wonder what would happen.
Yeah.
Like, if I just didn't.
Helicopters would be out.
Like, if I just didn't show up tonight, I just was like, I'm taking tonight off with zero communication. Like,
that wouldn't fly with me.
You would lose your mind. I would never do that to you. That would be so cruel. I would never.
Well, I'd be at your house with a baseball bat ready to break in to see if you were dead or if someone is trying to kill you with my wasp spray and my baseball bat.
And Ladybird.
Yep.
No, I was not dead. My phone was broken and then Bo had bronchitis.
Yep. Yeah. Did I tell you about Ladybird? So
I don't think so. We didn't talk all
Sorry, this just came to my mind. It happened. The doorbell rang, and it was a FedEx delivery guy.
Yes, you told me. She
running to the thing, and he pulled the door shut. Instead, he was like, "No, ma'am, no.
Do not let that dog out here."
I'm like, she's really friendly. He was like, just wait till I get back in my truck. I'm like, fair enough.
I scared him. Ladybird.
But then I'm like, good for you. I like that.
What a killer.
Yeah.
What a killer. Ladybird.
She will fuck you up.
Such a killer. Quick points before I get started.
Yeah.
The Julia, what is the last name? Fred something. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head.
No, I don't know.
Who said that she was actually Madeline McCann.
Yeah.
The DNA test came back and she is shockingly not Madeline McCann, which is so sad for the family.
Yeah.
This dragged on for a really long time.
Yeah.
And that feels really sad.
Do we know why? Does she have mental health problems? Why did she think, I wonder...
I mean, I remember when I was first looking at it, her family said, she always wanted, attention and to be popular.
Yes, that's right. That's what I remember.
What an interesting thing to,
come up with.
Latch on to and just, really believe it and, in your heart of hearts.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. And then the other thing that we were talking about before we started recording was the founder of Cash App.
Yeah.
They arrested a tech consultant.
They were buddies. They knew each other.
Yeah.
Worked together.
That's what the article was saying.
Yeah.
In connection with his murder.
Right. So we got to find out why.
Motive.
Yeah.
What's the motive?
We need the motive.
Motive.
Maybe he was jealous. I don't know. But then I'm thinking, this happened at 3 a.m. Were they out drinking and the guy got mad and went berserk and stabbed?
Disagreement.
Yeah, or something. Because I'm not saying that everybody goes out drinking at 3 a.m., but why are you up at 3 a.m.?
What do they say? Nothing good happens past midnight.
That's true.
Isn't that the saying?
Or 2 a.m. I think.
Oh, is it 2? Apparently, I gave you the old person version.
Nothing good happens past 9. Just fucking stay home.
I'm gonna snort. For real.
Just fucking get in your bed and turn on Netflix. That's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do.
It's really it.
I love being home.
Yeah.
I was talking to Chris. My work is trying to do a summit, which is getting all of my department in Florida. They're doing it in Florida.
Okay.
And I was like, Chris, they're trying to get me on a plane again. I was like, I just love being at home. Like, I love not having to stress on if my flight's going to be delayed or like,
yeah, that's
my
annoying.
Uber's not going to show up and am I going to miss this morning flight at 5 a.m.? Like,
God, that'd be awful. Yeah.
My Uber driver was fantastic though
That's
last
good.
week. Yeah, he was great.
Good.
Showed up early.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I actually freaked out. I was like, I am the epitome of like a people pleaser with anxiety.
Yeah.
I like rolled my, I don't know why I'm telling this story. I like rolled my suitcase outside and saw that he was already there, but this was like 15-ish minutes early.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry I'm late. And he was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, no, I'm hurrying. It's fine. I'll be right back. Like, it like stressed me out to the core.
Yeah.
And then he was like, said something about like, I was his second ride of the day. His first one was at like 4 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
Because he just does like airport rides.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you said I scheduled mine at 4 a.m.? I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what I was like, so.
That's funny.
Yeah. That was, it's like, wow, I'm,
Hope you got a good tip.
he did. Well, it also got expensed, so.
There you go.
It's the only perk of a work trip.
It is.
Is it all gets expensed.
It does.
Okay, anyways, enough about work
Yeah.
and my work trips. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I just want to point out I didn't say Happy Tuesday.
Okay.
I
I don't think we said that at all yet last time.
know. I'm working on it.
And then you just fucked it up again.
Well, I just want people to know that I'm working on it. I would like everyone to know that it takes a lot for me to not say it.
It's true.
It's really hard.
I know.
When you
it's hard.
sit here and you do the same, like,
Yeah.
if I stopped saying the murder mamas the way I say it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it would just, you wouldn't start.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd fuck up the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so cutting that out, because it's so obnoxious, has been really hard.
It has. I can tell.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk to you about the murder of Ebby Jane Steppach.
Okay.
Familiar?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Well, we're going to Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Why is it not called Arkansas?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It should be called Arkansas.
The English language is hard to understand.
Well, especially for you. It's also hard to pronounce.
I understand it. I just don't know how to say it out loud.
I like how I'm roasting you, but I'm also constantly like listening to how words are pronounced on Google. So, you know, I just live to roast you.
Yep.
Okay. So Ebby was an 18-year-old. She was born on March 31st, 1997. And, you know, right?
I graduated in 1999. That's what I was thinking.
Like a baby.
She's a baby.
Yeah. So she was like freshly 18,
Yeah.
right? We're October 2015. So she would have been 18.
Yeah.
She lived in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Mhm.
And she was born there, raised there, lived there. I don't really know how I want to like present this yet, but we're going to do like a little bit of background on a few months leading up to her disappearance, and then like a timeline of her disappearance, and then we'll just sort of go from there.
Okay.
So the background leading up to it is like Ebby was described as like a really loyal, great person, friend, didn't have like had good grades, didn't have a lot of trouble. And then for her senior year of high school, she made the decision that she would be enrolling in public school when she had been going to private school.
Okay. For her senior year?
Correct.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want to go to that school anymore. She also decides that she like doesn't want to live at her parents' house anymore, but she still has like a whole nother year of school to do. What?
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking.
You look like you were going to ask a question.
No.
So she's 18.
She's 18 and she still has a year left?
Yeah.
Oh. So
Because her birthday's in like March.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Math.
Sure. Uh, so she's going between living like at her grandparents, at her older brother's house, and like friends' houses.
Okay.
It's by choice though. Like she's really trying to assert her independence of like being an adult.
Right.
But she's still in high school.
But she's still in high school.
Yeah.
I would fight to keep my kid at home. I don't know if they did, her parents, but I wouldn't want they need to be in a stable environment for high school. Well, for college too. But like bouncing around to other houses during the year is a lot.
She still had a really good relationship with her parents. Like
Okay.
it wasn't like left in like animosity.
Okay.
It was like her parents sort of were like, I guess there was a level of like trust in there, and like they gave her the freedom to like spread her wings, but also made it sort of seem like they would be a soft landing pad.
Okay.
For her to come back to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So like she was still very close with them. It actually was her mom and her stepdad who she was living with before. Okay. And she had a good relationship with both of them. Like I said, she has an older brother, Trevor, and then a younger sister, Harris was the name. There's not a lot about either of them, but so she has like a good relationship with all of her family, right? Yeah. Like she's very close with her older brother. She still talks to her mom like regularly. Her mom actually says something. I listened to the Vanished podcast, where they have a full interview with her mom. That is where I got a lot of this information. But her mom says something like, the minute that she saw Ebby when she was born, like she knew that they would always have like a special connection and a special bond, like something deeper. Yeah. You know? And I guess like they just kind of like trusted her. I don't know. Like it's hard for me to be like, they should have done more, because like I moved out when I was freshly 18. Right. I waited until I graduated high school, which was like a few weeks after I turned 18. Yeah. And I think I graduated high school on like a Wednesday, and I moved into an apartment on Friday. Oh, wow. Really? Like I did not want to live at home. There was no reason. I was living in the same city. Yeah. I didn't want to live at home anymore.
I didn't want to live at home either. So I went to the farthest away from Southern California, and I went all the way up to Northern California.
Like, I just wanted to be independent. Like, I wanted to make it on my own. I wanted to be able to, like, not have a curfew. Like, I didn't want those rules. Yeah. And, like, my parents couldn't say anything. Yeah. But, like, when it all turned to shit, they were, like, my soft landing pad. Yeah. You know, and even now as a 33-year-old married woman with children, I'm pretty sure if I was like, Mom and Dad, can I come home? They would let me come home. Of course. You know, like. Yeah. Of course. And so that's kind of the vibe I get from Ebby's stepfather and mom. Okay. Is like very much like, we're going to let you live. Okay. But like, we're here when you need us. That's kind of the backstory on her. Okay. Shortly before she disappears or goes missing, there's like, she starts performing a little worse at school. She's not going to school as much. Like she's taking that independence. Yeah. And being a fairly normal teen with it, I think. And that's kind of like, I don't think that there's a ton to say about it. Like, she's obviously like partying a little bit. Yeah. And maybe hanging out with like the wrong crowd in the public school that she wasn't exposed to previously at the private school. But like, it happens. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's just drawing back to my point where I think she needs to be at home until she graduates.
I'm just going to tell you, I lived at home until I graduated, and I was doing hood rat shit with my friends.
Yeah, but at least you had a stable home to go home to. I mean, I know she does, but like, you know.
Like, I just feel like if you're going to do it, you're going to find a way.
Yeah,
and it
that's
doesn't
true.
matter.
That's true.
Where you're living. Like, I was going to find a way.
Yeah, that's true.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I had a mom who literally would wait up for me.
Yeah.
And would be up all night. Like, I couldn't sneak out of my house. But I found ways.
Yeah.
You just learn how to lie.
Yeah, you do.
Half-truths is what I like to call them. Anyways, so looking at this and, like, listening and reading, like, I really can feel and, like, resonate so much with the stage of life she was in.
Yeah.
I was there.
Which is hard, being 18.
Not even that it's hard. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
And, like, the excitement and the fun of it and the being able to just fuck up. But it's, like, low stakes fuck ups,
right.
You know? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like,
yeah, I get it.
I put myself in so many dangerous situations. Like,
me too.
Things that looking back now, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Like, what?
Yep.
And
same.
So many people have this, right? Like, this is part of life. It's part of growing up.
It is.
For the majority of people.
Yeah.
The majority of people I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I really can like resonate with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the background.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to talk about the dates in October. A little trigger warning. We're going to briefly mention some sexual assault. Not a ton of details, but it will be talked about as we move forward. So, on October 23rd, I believe, Ebby is supposed to take her friend from her private school, Danielle. No, sorry, on October 21st. My date got messed up. October 23rd is the date of a party she goes to. So she's supposed to take her friend Danielle to, like, a local charter school. And Danielle had, like, a dentist appointment or something. And she calls Ebby and she's like, hey, like, I'm going to be late. Sorry, like, you don't have to take me. And Ebby's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't really want to be at school anyways.
Right.
Like, she specifically says in this message, because of all that drama. But, like, Danielle has no idea what she was talking about with all of that drama.
Because Danielle goes to the private school.
She goes they go to different schools.
Yeah.
So she's, like, not
sure.
super clear.
Yeah.
And then, so she doesn't go to school that day. And then on October 23rd, Ebby attends a party with friends, but not any friends that her private school friends knew.
Okay.
Or her parents. So, like...
These are all new friends.
Correct.
Okay.
And so her friend Danielle, who wasn't able to meet her earlier, was supposed to go to this party, but says, like, I didn't want to be there because I wasn't going to know anyone.
Yeah. So
it's hard to know what actually happened there because no one in her family knows people that were there. And the police really flubbed this case.
Good.
From start to finish. So.
Okay.
It'll be nice and rage-inducing.
Yep.
Ebby, at this party, Ebby says that she was gang raped by 4 people.
Oh, shit.
She says that it was recorded on a phone. There's no way to know if it was or not. None of the 4 boys are, like, their names are never released. They get questioned by police, like, way down the road, which I'll talk about later, but they're minors. So there's not a ton of details on this.
Right.
It's, like, literally just sort of her saying it.
Okay.
And that's kind of it. So she goes to that party. She's drinking. She's smoking weed. And then that happens. So the next day, on October 24th, She spends time at her grandparents' house, where they say that she was lying in bed and watching like her favorite TV show, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, good.
And she had called a friend and told them what happened the night before, and is like, I don't know, like, what to do.
Yeah.
And then she reaches out to her stepdad, Michael, and he's at dinner with her mom, Lori. And she's like, this happened, and I want to go to the police, but like, I need an adultier adult to come with me. Can you please take me?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we'll meet you at the police station a little bit later.
They could.
I don't know.
Get your ass out of the restaurant and book it to the police station to be
It
with
might
your
have
daughter.
been what she wanted too, you know? And so that's why, again, like, the relationship between her mom, her stepdad, and her was really good. You know, like, I don't think that I would have gone to my parents had I been in her shoes. I maybe would have gone to, like, my sister. But I don't know that I would have gone to my parents.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have either.
So, like, I think that really speaks volumes.
Yeah.
To be like, I need some support. And then being like, yes, we'll be there.
Sure.
I think another thing about the timing was, like, she was going to get yogurt, like frozen yogurt with her grandparents after dinner.
Okay.
So they do go to get the yogurt.
Oh, okay.
And then at 7:30 p.m., Ebby makes 2 1-minute phone calls to the Little Rock Police Department. And this feels really suspicious to me because, like...
Like 911 calls? Or
No.
Like the emergency line? Or
like, you know, honestly, I'm not...
like the office?
It didn't specify if they were 911, if it was calling, like, the non-emergency, not... Like, it didn't specify. It just said 2 1-minute long phone calls.
Okay.
You're not going to be, like, saying, like, hey, I got sexually assaulted and, like, reporting that sort of thing in a 1-minute long call, right? Like,
No.
That to me feels like you're gathering some general information. Like, is there an officer there? Like, can I come in?
Right.
Like, okay, and what time are they there till?
Sure.
But then what's really weird about this is that there's no record of these calls within the police department.
Oh. But it's on her cell phone?
Correct. So there's a record on her cell phone of these 2 1-minute long outgoing calls to the police department, but then nothing.
Wow. Okay.
On their end.
Okay.
Weird, right?
That is weird.
Little weird. And then, so then at 7:50, she texts her stepfather again about it, and they agree that they'll go to the police station.
Okay.
At 8 p.m., she leaves her grandparents' house. She tells her grandparents that she is going to meet her stepfather. She is not seen by any family after this interaction.
Oh.
Through the rest of the night of that day, which is October 24th, Ebby sends multiple messages to the boys she says raped her. She is threatening to go to the police and asking them to delete a video they had taken of her sexual assault the night before. So she wasn't, like, shy about it. She was very abrupt and, like, forthright. Like,
good for her.
Yeah, like, she really was, like, advocating for herself.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Extremely hard to do.
Especially that young.
Yeah.
Wow, good for her.
But, like, her family doesn't hear from her. She doesn't show up at the police station. They don't hear from her anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So late in the night on 10/24, Ebby's stepfather and grandmother try to reach her, but there's no answer. So
yeah,
she's gone MIA. So, like, she was threatening them, and now
nothing.
Correct.
Okay.
From late on 10/24 to the next day at 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
She's unreachable by family. Like, again, no one can get a hold of her. She calls her brother or connects with her brother, Trevor, at 5:30. But on this call, it's like really strange. She seems very confused. She's unable to tell Trevor who she is with or where she is. And then he's like, okay, where are you? And she's like, I'm right out front. Like, so then he was like, okay, and hangs up the phone and goes to look out his front door.
Right.
And she's not there.
Yeah.
So then he calls back and he's like, okay, like, you're not there. Like, where are you? What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, very worried about her, you know? And then she tells him she doesn't know where she is. The last thing she says is, I'm fucked up.
Okay.
And the phone clicks.
Oh, fuck.
And that's it.
Oh.
That's the last contact she has with any of her family.
Okay.
Weird, right?
That is weird. I'm trying to think of, like, possibilities. Like, was she drunk? Did she go out and just drink?
Like,
Did she get roofied?
Yeah,
Did she meet up with some of these boys and they, like, fucked her up?
Yeah. Is it a drug fucked up?
Yeah.
Is it a beat up fucked up?
Yeah.
Did she not mean that? Did she say, I fucked up?
Right.
I'm fucked up? Like,
yeah.
What?
The word fuck has so many different meanings. Different
like
interpretations.
Yeah. And so it's like very cryptic.
Okay.
And then
that is weird.
And then that's it. There's the phone click. And that's it. Following that phone call, her family reaches out to like her friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they reach out to Danielle, the one from before, and they were supposed to be Ebby and Danielle were supposed to be at an ice cream party together. Okay. And they weren't. Yeah. So Danielle begins calling like everyone because now everyone's like, she's missing.
Yeah.
Like something is happening.
Also, I want to go to an ice cream party.
I know, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's find the nearest Cold Stone. Throw an ice cream party for 40 and 30-year-old ladies.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
That's all we have to live for.
Really is.
The height.
Danielle begins reaching out to all of their friends and like going to the places where she normally would hang out. She's nowhere. No one knows where she is. Her family tries to file a missing persons report that night. Yeah. On 10/25. And Little Rock Police Department says, nah. No. You gotta wait at least 12 hours before you can file a missing persons report.
That.
And they're like, okay.
Nope.
I mean, they don't accept it.
Yeah.
But like, what are they going to do? You know? Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So they continue to like themselves look and try and find her while the police are like, no, like they do the fucking thing they always do. She's a runaway she's 18 and we can't do anything and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And her mom is like, listen. Yeah. I know my daughter. She would not do this. Yeah. And I really feel like as a mother, you know your fucking kids. Yep. And if a mother is coming to you or a father, right, and they're saying, I know 100%, without a doubt, they would never do this.
Yeah. They should be believed.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Little Rock Police Department is like, fuck you. No, we don't believe you. Wow. She's a runaway. Literally, her mother waits, and at the exact minute of the 12-hour mark, she calls him again to file a report. Good. Like, she will get into, like, all of everything she has done. And she is a very strong woman. Her mother is. So they file the report reluctantly. Like, the police reluctantly take the report. And then her family begins to pass out missing persons flyers, and they like to spread the word about her disappearance. The police really don't do anything. Like, they're dragging their fucking feet to do anything at all.
That's their literal job.
It's... Why?
Yeah.
Why would you go into a job that is a public-facing role if you're just going to be a gigantic fucking asshole?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Literally be an accountant.
Yeah.
No one expects an accountant to be nice. Be an accountant. Except for Peter.
I was going to say, it's really nice.
Except for Peter. Just kidding. Except for Peter.
And the place I worked, we were all alcoholics. We'd go out and have fun. CPAs are kind of fun.
Okay, well...
It's the auditors that are...
Yeah, or like a staff accountant who just like is bogged down in numbers all day. Like, there's so many things you can do if you just want to be like a little cog in a wheel asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go into service work if you're not going to do the service.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Also, I have an accounting degree, so like I feel like I'm allowed to say that.
Do you really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's my minor. Her parents are like, hey, like, can we get a ping on her cell phone? Like, what can be done to try and like know where she is? And they're like, that sounds hard. That sounds like a lot of work.
To fill out paperwork and...
Yeah, literally, this is the attitude from the beginning. Is like, she's a fucking runaway, and like, shut up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the next thing that happens on the 28th, so now she's been gone for 3 days. Ebby's car is reported as an abandoned vehicle by a security guard. She was driving a 2003 Volkswagen Passat, and it was found in Chalamont Park, which is like it reminds me very similarly to like the neighborhood parks and pools around in our neighborhoods.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Like neighborhood parks and pools, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
But like in a suburb in West Little Rock.
Okay.
The thing about this, though, is that the security guard had called this in, like, 2 different times.
Oh.
And was like, hey, like, I found this abandoned car.
Yeah.
And, like, do you guys want to come check this out?
Right.
And the police like, yeah, we'll send someone. And then the first time, they just, like, don't ever send anyone. The guy waits for, like, 3 hours. And they, like, don't send anyone. And then the second time, they... like, send someone a while later. Like, it's just such a lack of urgency.
Yeah.
They had put out... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The police did agree to put out, like, an APB for her vehicle.
Okay.
Which this vehicle matches her vehicle. So, like...
They're not really... They're not putting 2 and 2 together.
Huh? So, so the car is still there 2 days later when the police like finally they get like another call about it. I can't substantiate this, but someone said that like a neighbor is the one who calls again.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find multiple sources that said that. They only talked about the security guard.
Okay.
So the police show up. And then the car is registered to both her stepdad, Michael, and her.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure. Like, maybe he was a cosigner on it or something. I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
It's kind of an old car to have a cosigner. I don't know all the details.
Right.
But her parents get notified that her vehicle was found.
Okay.
That's, like, the bottom line.
Right.
And when they find her car, her car is found with an empty gas tank, completely on E, a dead battery, and the keys in the ignition. Her makeup is in the front seat. Her contacts are in the seat, like in the car.
Like so, in their case, so she wasn't wearing them?
Correct.
Okay.
So, like, she wanted to go this is backtracking. She wanted to be a real estate agent and a cosmetology, like a cosmetologist.
Okay.
So, like, makeup's a huge deal to her.
Right.
Also, contacts.
Yeah.
If my contacts are found in my vehicle in their case,
yeah,
your girl's gone because I can't fucking see.
I can't see. I don't know where the fuck I am.
Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I Mr. Magoo'd out into the woods because I literally cannot see.
Yeah.
Like, she left her eyes. Like, she left one of her senses in the car.
Right.
Something tells me she didn't just walk away from that.
Right.
But I also think it's very suspicious that the battery is dead.
Yeah.
And it's completely on E.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, like, was her car running and she got out of it for a quick minute to, like, talk to someone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then never got back in to turn off?
Oh, yeah.
That's, like, kind of where the initial part of this case sort of ends. Is, like, they find her car at this park, and then the police, like, totally flub that too. There's, like, heavy rains, I guess, happened, and, like, they lost evidence that was on the car, and blah, blah, blah. You know, the same fucking story we've said, like, so many times at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they did a bad job.
Yeah.
At this, so once the car, sorry, my brain's, like, ping-ponging. Mm-hmm. So once the car is found is when they try to get the ping on her cell phone. Okay. And they're like, well, it's gonna take us a long time. And then they finally get it. And they put the wrong fucking phone number. So they ping her cell phone to the middle of some field, like 45 minutes away. And her parents go there and they're searching the fucking field to thinking they're going to find the worst, right? And then they re-ping the correct cell phone number. And it's at the fucking park where her car was found. Wow. And they didn't tell her parents. They weren't like, hey, don't go search that field. They just let them do it. Wow. Yeah.
That's horrible.
What the fuck?
What are you doing, Arkansas?
What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So her phone wasn't in her car. It just pinged by her car?
To the best of my knowledge, yeah. Like, it pinged in that radius of that park. Okay. So then, on a few days later, one of her friends and the friend's mom, they go to this park. And they're, like, walking around to try and find a clue, evidence, like, anything they can. And they call 911 and reported that they smelled decomposition, which is a smell you never forget. No, you don't. And it's really hard to mistake it.
Yeah. Even if you don't know and you smell it for the first time, you're like, yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they said that they smelled that coming from a drainage pipe right next to where her car was parked.
Oh, okay.
And Little Rock PD does not investigate.
Oh my God.
They go, well, we already had a cadaver dog in that area and they didn't do anything. So, like, pretty sure it's just an animal. Get over it.
Wow.
Completely write them off. Yeah.
Jeez.
And so that's on 11/3, 2015. And that's kind of like, it's just this, like, horrific song and dance where, like, her parents are literally screaming, please do something. Right. And they're like, no. Not going to. Wow. And, like, I don't understand why. Like, at one point, they really, it's so upset. It's, like, makes me feel ragey. Yeah. The police, like, tunnel vision on her stepdad. And they build this narrative that, like, she left their house because they didn't get along and he killed her or was involved. Okay. And the pinging thing on the phone comes into play because there's, like, a time difference from the time that her family says things happened and things on her phone happened. Okay. And so then it starts to make them look, like, suspicious.
Or they just don't fucking remember every goddamn detail.
The police bring her parents in, and they put her stepdad in a room for 3 hours and interrogate him and are like, we know you did this. They put her mom in a room for an hour and a half, and they're like, why are you covering for an abusive man that would harm your daughter? Like, horrific shit.
Yeah.
And her mom is like, we didn't do anything. And they keep asking her to, like, take polygraph test. And initially they were like, sure, we'll do whatever you want. But, like, please just help us find our fucking daughter.
Yeah.
You know? And then the police show that, like, they can't really be trusted. So the family feels like they can't trust the police.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, we're not going to agree to a polygraph test,
right,
when you're going to use it against us and we're not guilty,
right?
Like, we're not doing that.
Never take a polygraph.
Absolutely.
No.
And so then now they're suspicious and, like, all this stuff. The police really don't ever they, like, bring in those 4 boys 3 weeks after. Which, like, gives a ton of time for things to be removed from phones, right?
Right, but everything's...
Well, if you try.
Yeah.
If you
They
actually...
didn't take any of their phones?
No.
Okay.
No. Just looked through them and said, okay, looks good.
Wow.
Free to go.
Wow.
Like, rage-inducing, right?
Yeah.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I'm so angry. And it's just, like, why do you just choose to not give a shit about this one in particular person?
Right.
Why? What did she do to deserve this?
Yeah.
What did she do?
Nothing. Yeah.
So her mom starts working with some, like, nonprofits, mostly for, like, human trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that sort of stuff. And, like, human trafficking.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for, right? Like, you're in my brain. And so...
That could explain why she was all weird with her brother. If someone had drugged her.
Correct.
Got her off the side of the road and decided to snatch her.
Which is pretty rare, right? Like, these things they're fairly rare, no?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we live in Houston.
Well, Houston's a big spot for it. You know, I always think about this. I flew with the kids, and were leaving San Diego, and the TSA agent asked both of my kids what their names were and how old they were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. They've never asked Avery that.
Maybe she looks more like your daughter than my kids look like my sons. I don't know. Yeah, she asked both of them.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
I know. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
A good thing they answered correctly.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Like, especially Bo. He'd be like, I'm 7. Anyways, so her mom is, like, getting these photos of girls who are being trafficked from these, like, nonprofits. Yeah. And they're like, does this look like your daughter? Like, they're trying to help, but they just keep sending her all of these, like, a picture of a foot and a shoe and, like, all this stuff. And a paramedic in Nashville, I think, or Memphis, says that they saw her somewhere, and the police, she, like, calls the police, and they're like, we don't work on the weekends.
What?
And they don't investigate it.
What?
They don't follow the lead.
They do work on the weekends.
Yes,
that's a lie.
Imagine calling them for, like, a dead body and then being like, oh, it's just gonna have to sit there till Monday, 9 a.m. It's like, what? Literally, this is your job.
Yeah.
So they just don't care. Like, they're just
That's horrible.
Not being helpful. They're not doing their job. They're not doing anything. She continues to bring up, like, the human trafficking thing. She's like, is there a chance that she was trafficked? And they say, you ready?
Yeah.
They say, there's no such thing as human trafficking. They're people who choose to be prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell that to the, young girls who get human trafficked
I'm
and
sorry,
boys.
but there's a difference. It's not one or the other. There can be sex workers and human trafficking.
Right.
Like, you can have more than one thing at one time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they think. And they're like, no. She's not a candidate for this because, like, we've only ever seen this one time. And it was, like, some people who are a heroin addict. And she's not a heroin addict. So she's not a heroin addict. She's not a drug user, but she's a runaway?
Yeah.
So, like, what? Can you be consistent at least?
Yeah.
So this goes on for, like, months. This poor mom, it's, like, literally months where she's, like, fighting with them. Like, can you please try and find my daughter?
Yeah.
Like, that's all I want you to do is try and find my daughter. And then, like, after, I want to say, like, 4 months or so, there's, like, a change in the staffing.
Okay.
So there's a new lieutenant, and the person handling her case, the captain, who is a huge fucking douche.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a new lieutenant now, so you can, like, complain to him about me.
Oh, good.
And she's like, great.
I will.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
It would be my pleasure. So then she has, like, a sit-down meeting with, like, the chief, this new lieutenant, like, all these different people.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like, go through her phone, and this is all from her point of view. So,
Right.
like, might be a little skewed.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's being dishonest, in my opinion.
Probably not.
So they, like, go through her phone and say, like, no, like, all the messages they're sending, like, the cops were sending her, like, sort of harassing messages, like, leave us alone, like, just weird, like, very weird, like, personal stuff.
The fuck?
Yeah, and she's like, are you having an inappropriate relationship? That the new lieutenant's like, are you having an inappropriate relationship with this captain? And she's like, what? No! I'm messaging them because for 6 months I've been begging someone to find my kid.
Wow.
So finally the case gets reassigned to a different, like, officer, different department.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find out that through some act that was passed, I can't remember the name of it, they're able to register Ebby
Mm-hmm.
with the Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Okay.
She's able to be part of their registry.
Yeah.
It's like something that for 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, they can still do it even though they're not children.
Right.
So they add her to this registry,
That's
but
good.
this is like 8 months after.
Yeah.
Like, the case, they've lost so much evidence.
Mm-hmm.
They have to restart with, like, from square one
Right.
on a lot of stuff. There was a Walmart nearby that her mom, like, begged them to get the footage, and they didn't get the footage.
Wow.
Do you want to know why they didn't get the footage? Because it would be too much to look through.
Oh.
And she's like, I will sit and I will watch every second
Right.
of it, with, like, one of her friends who said they would do it too. Like, we will sit and we will watch every second. Please, can you just get it? Like, they couldn't get it because you have to get, like, a warrant.
Right.
And the police would not get this footage.
Wow.
She's like, maybe there's nothing, but maybe there's something.
There could be.
Maybe there's something that she walks in with someone and leaves with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe there's a fucking clue.
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Wow.
So then by the time the new team takes over her case, Walmart doesn't keep their footage forever.
Sure.
You know, it's like 4 or 6 months or something.
Yeah.
And it had been 8 months at this point. So they have
Wow.
none of the Walmart footage. They also, sorry, I didn't mention this, but her family hires, like, a private investigator to help too. And he finds out that the police never talked to the security guard who reported the car missing.
Wow.
And had they talked to the security guard who reported the car missing, they would know that the security guard had dash cam footage of him previously kicking Ebby and some males out of the park on different occasions.
Oh.
And then this guy, the security guard, put that footage on his home computer, and then his home computer crashed,
Oh, fuck.
and it was gone.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes. The police never talked to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
and he
shit.
was like more than willing to give anything he could, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not hard. Like I feel like people generally want to help.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone was like, hey, like my daughter's missing. Do you know anything?
Right.
You'd be like, oh, no, like I remember seeing her.
Right.
You know, like these times. And yeah, it's just, I don't want to stick on it for so long, but like the initial detectives and people, officers who worked her case were so bad. Like they told the family not to go to the media, like not to talk.
Oh, that's the first fucking thing I do.
Why would you not want exposure?
Yeah.
To help find a missing person? Like
right.
I can understand being like, don't give these details.
Sure.
Because we want to hold things a little close to our chest.
Sure.
To make sure that we're getting accurate. You know,
you can
like
still put her
leads.
name out that she's missing.
Exactly.
That doesn't
and
give
her
away the
family,
information.
like at a certain point, her family started to listen because they felt like if they said anything or did anything, the police would like attack them.
Retaliate. Yeah.
Yes. And like, how fucking shitty.
That's really shitty. Shame on you, Arkansas police.
Little Rock, man.
Little Rock. Shame.
Shame. Shame on
Shame.
you. So the new people take over, and like honestly, they don't really find much because so much is gone. Exactly. And the case sort of like just, that's it. Like for a little while. Really sadly. Like, but her family never stops. Like they never give up. They're always looking. Her mother and brother in December 2017, they go on Dr. Phil to like try and just get some publicity. Yeah. They also say that they feel like the police department mishandled her case. Yep. And it works, and then they offer a reward of $50,000 for any information leading to her discovery. Mm-hmm. And then her body is found. Yeah. Yeah. There was like that drainage pipe.
Yep. Yeah. It was found in there. Wow.
Where the police said that they had already had cadaver dogs. And it's like a, you know, like the heavy manhole covers. Right. Her skeletal remains, because it's found on May 24th, 2018. Wow. Yeah. Her skeletal...
Please tell me they sued the fucking shit out of them.
Actually, I don't have any information about that. Yeah. Her skeletal remains are found there. The police... I don't want to misspeak, but I want to say that this was because of the Center for Exploited Children. Mm-hmm. They searched the park again, and they searched this drain pipe. Wow. With like a camera. Yeah. And they found her there. But then I saw something else that said like that it wasn't draining, and there was like a blockage, and they found the blockage, and it was like her. Oh my God. It was like 60 feet from where her car was discovered. 60 feet.
So in this drainage hole, it's like a big hole that you can, like, the top comes off, but it's really heavy. Mm-hmm. And is there, like, a drainage where the water flows down so you can, like Pennywise?
Yes.
Okay.
But, like, once you're down there, it's, like, I don't have any visual, like, photos of it, so it's hard to explain. I just have the mom's explanation of it. Okay. Where, like, she was some ways down, and, like, you would have to get all the way in the pipe to have, like, seen her. Okay. But, like, is it plausible that she moved down this pipe? Like, could she have been in the bigger area? Oh, yeah. And then, like, sort of... washed down further? Right. In the podcast...
How'd she get in there?
That's the $1 million question. In the podcast I listened to, her mom said, you know, I know that people said that they smelled decomposition from this area, and I don't think that it was from Ebby. Based on, like, the position of where she was found, it was pretty far. It was pretty, like, deep
Oh, okay.
in there. That's what she felt.
Okay.
Again, like, who knows?
Yeah.
And, like, if there were cadaver dogs, wouldn't they have hit?
They would have hit on something.
On something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it. Like, her mom has said that there's been some other things in the case that she can't really, like, talk about. So they're still continuing to work this as, like, a cold case.
Right. Well, they have her skeleton, right? So
correct.
they can...
And they know the cause of death, but it has not been released to the public.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know what the cause of death is.
Okay.
Some things I saw said that the 4 boys that did the bad stuff, that once her skeletal remains were found, they were then made persons of interest again.
Okay.
But that was one thing. And it's like not a lot of information about the ongoing cases going on.
Okay.
But if you have any information or know anything, I will leave the number to call in the notes.
Yeah. Well, let's keep an eye on that, see if anything comes from it.
Yeah, and like that's kind of where this one sits. Like her mom is such a such a badass.
Yeah.
She says like she's made peace with the fact that she might never know who did it. And like she has to just make peace with that.
Yeah.
But her stepdad has not made any peace with that, and he wants to know who it was. He wants justice. He wants vengeance.
Sure.
He wants everything. And I'm going to tell you the really sad part. Her older brother, the last person to ever speak with her, he died at the age of 35 from a heart attack.
Oh, no.
He had like a heart disease.
Yeah.
And that was in 2019.
Ugh.
Yeah. So...
They had to bury 2 of their kids.
And she said, like, in one of the things, the mom said that the youngest daughter doesn't live in Little Rock or Arkansas, and she feels really happy that she's able to find joy in things after all the loss that she's had.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
That's rough.
So rough. And her mom was like, you know, it was really hard for Trevor being the last person to ever speak to her. And I think that had something to do with the heaviness on his heart.
Probably. I would assume that too. I could see that happening.
Yeah. So theories. You want to talk theories?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a theory that she tried to commit suicide, which I 0% agree with.
And then put herself in a storm drain?
Like, she went in the storm drain to commit, like, took a bunch of stuff and went in the storm drain to, like, die.
Really gross. I don't think people do that.
I don't either.
No, that didn't happen. I'm going to say no on that one.
Yeah, for me, that's a no. Again, these manholes are really heavy.
Right.
For me, that's a no. The next one is that she was not at the park when the police first searched it.
Okay.
And her body went into that drain.
Yeah.
After their search, which is why there was no hit.
Okay.
But then they smelled decomposition.
Yeah.
So, there's no way to know if... I feel like that one is fairly plausible.
Right.
But there's no way to know.
Like, where was she then in between?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows if she was even in her car, right? Like, nobody knows anything. But, like, I feel like if the police had just gone out there and been like, hey, let's take a look at this smell of decomposition.
Right.
Let's just do a quick probe.
Yeah.
Like, then there would be no questions, right?
Yeah.
I
wonder how she died.
I'm sure we'll find out one day.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
I want to think. So there was the suicide theory. There was that she wasn't there. So yeah, that's it. Like, It's unsolved. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm not glad. I feel relief for the family that they were able to at least find her body.
Yes.
And that they don't spend forever questioning on whether or not she's alive.
Right.
Not that I think that this is the ideal outcome.
No.
But for me, I think I would
not knowing
would be torture.
It would be torture. Especially if you thought she was trafficked. Like, just everything going through your mind, what could be happening to her.
Well, no. Human trafficking doesn't happen there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Also, they said that there's no gangs in Little Rock.
Oh, okay.
There's gangs literally everywhere.
Hi, it's in the 2020 or 2015 or whatever.
Yeah, like there's gangs literally everywhere.
It's not a new thing.
Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that was a good one.
Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't. No.
Yes. Did it again.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That's it.
Okay. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram at
The Murder Mamas,
Facebook,
The M Mamas,
Twitter,
The Murder Mamas,
email,
themurdermamas@gmail.com.
And if you like us and are happy with our content, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We would appreciate it. Bye.